It's been 72 hours since it was reported that Laker projected starting center Marc Gasol was not allowed to return to the team next season, and the lack of response from Marc Gasol's party since then only gives such reports more substance. Last offseason, when it was incorrectly reported that older brother Pau Gasol intended on signing with home team Barcelona and playing for the Spanish League, Pau's party instantly shut down such rumors to clarify his intentions of staying in the NBA. The brothers have every incentive to clarify false reports immediately, being that at this stage of their careers they're already an afterthought, and reports of anything less than a full commitment only further hurts their chances of playing a significant role on an NBA team. Considering the context of Marc Gasol's situation, having rumors early into last season about the front office not being satisfied, the team bringing in another center on the buyout market resulting in him being out of the rotation, and a fanbase who underappreciates what he brings to the table, it'd be understandable why 37-year-old Marc Gasol, coming off an offseason of no rest playing in the Olympics, might be hesitant to return to a run-and-gun style team with newly added Russell Westbrook, which will only further emphasize the weaknesses to Gasol's game. Compound that with the fact that the Los Angeles Lakers are reserving yet another final roster spot to make a run at the best candidate in the upcoming buyout market, that likely being Cleveland Cavalier big man Kevin Love, and fans should be able to see why Marc Gasol might want to avoid all the frustration he went through last season. Clearly his intentions of finishing out his career with the purple and gold is not going as planned, and it was very uncharacteristic of him to voice his frustration with his role once Andre Drummond replaced him in the starting lineup and eventually in the entire rotation. Nobody wants to end a career on a sour note, and if we're being objective, if the Lakers were to fall short of a championship in the upcoming season, the 37-year-old starting center will unfortunately find himself in a similar situation, being at the front line of the blame, and the ultimate scapegoat for why a supporting cast couldn't get the job done with such a talented big three. With that said, should Marc Gasol actually decide not to return, many Laker fans already have an immediate backup plan for the front office to go with, that being former Laker DeMarcus Cousins. We evaluated the pros and cons of signing DeMarcus Cousins in my last video, and although a large majority agreed that Cousins would even make for a solid upgrade over Marc Gasol at this stage of their careers, there was some legitimate pushback suggesting the Lakers should take this opportunity to find a center that would address their lack of foot speed and rim protection at the starting position instead. So in this video, we're going to do exactly that, by going over a candidate worthy of considering at the Lakers' potential opening at the starting center position, someone who's mobile enough to be a versatile defender, can run the floor gracefully in a fast-paced offense, space the floor a little bit, and protect the rim as well. From the thumbnail, many of you guys already know who we'll be talking about, that being forgotten 8th overall pick of the 2016 NBA Draft and former Golden State Warriors starting center Marquese Chriss. Many fans have forgotten about Marquese Chriss due to the fact he suffered a season-ending injury to start the season and will be traded to San Antonio Spurs to eventually be waived in order to open up a roster spot. His ankle injury couldn't have come at a worse time, considering he was coming off the best season of his career where he averaged over 9 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 block as the starting center for depleted Golden State Warriors. Coming into that season, the Warriors had to make some difficult decisions when finalizing the roster, but Chriss had shown so much promise in training camp and preseason that Warriors star Draymond Green, one of the smartest players in the game, went out of his way to vouch for Chriss to not only stay on the roster, but Green also recognized Chris's potential to be the modern center the Warriors have longed for in their up-tempo playstyle. That year was deemed to be a lost season with the sidelining of Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson for the year, but Draymond Green's vision for Marquese Chriss to develop into a quality role player would come to fruition as one of the few bright spots in the organization's underwhelming season. Chriss was able to regain the confidence he had shown in his rookie season, the same confidence which led to him being seen as an up-and-coming two-way talent right out of college. As eventually the starting center for the Golden State Warriors, Chriss would show his ability to moderately space the floor as a career 29% three-point shooter, which is clearly still a work in progress, but also the ability to hold his own against most centers despite being slightly undersized at 6'9", protect the rim with his high-flying leaping abilities, switch onto smaller opponents with his impressive mobility, and thrive in transition as one of the fastest players at his position. Chriss reminded the NBA world that he has all the tools to be the prototypical athletic versatile two-way center in today's game, and proved that in a positive, nurturing environment, he's only starting to scratch the surface of his true potential. Again, Marquese Chriss' career year came with just Draymond Green as the only competent playmaker on the entire depleted Warriors team. Since Marquese Chriss came into the league, he hasn't had much luck playing with elite playmakers. He started out his career playing for the lowly Phoenix Suns, who didn't have any competent pass-first floor generals at the time. On top of that, the team would continue drafting big men, which ultimately led to a logjam in the front court. Chris was then traded to the Houston Rockets, who at the time did not believe in playing legitimate big men, especially one that can't proficiently space the floor. And finally, his last stop prior to landing in Golden State was with the Cleveland Cavaliers, another bottom-of-the-barrel franchise who was unable to tap into Chris's potential. This is all to say, considering Marquese Chriss was able to have the most productive year of his career with Draymond Green as a sole playmaker, just imagine how efficient Marquese Chriss would be as a starting center for the Los Angeles Lakers, with him and Anthony Davis being able to switch on everything while protecting the basket, and being set up for spoon-fed looks around the basket by both LeBron James and Russell Westbrook. With Frank Vogel being a defensive-minded head coach, Marquese Chriss could win Vogel over with the versatility on defense he'd provide, his tremendous agility to gracefully run the break or get back on defense, and a competent floor spacing that would again be a work in progress. He would fit Anthony Davis' timeline, being that Chriss is still only 24 years old, and considering the current lack of interest on the open market, he'd also make an affordable long-term solution at the center position, whether that be as a starter or coming off the bench. It's no secret that LeBron James loves having bouncy big men to lob to, hence why the front office tried out Damian Jones prior to the arrival of Andre Drummond. Same applies to Russell Westbrook, who was able to turn Washington Wizards' athletic backup center Daniel Gafford into a lethal rim runner and one of the most productive centers coming off the bench. Safe to say, Marquese Chriss is a better talent than either Damian Jones or Daniel Gafford, as someone who's starting to get comfortable taking a high volume of threes, fearlessly attacks the rim, and proactively protects the basket with his 7'1" wingspan combined with his tremendous bouncing ability. This would be a perfect timing for the Los Angeles Lakers to acquire Marquese Chriss, being that he's a player who started for most of his career, has recently flown under the radar as a free agent due to a season-ending injury, and has proven to be flexible with his role, whether it be starting at the center position throughout the course of the regular season, or being completely cut from the rotation once the postseason rolls around. In an ideal world, if Marquese Chriss is able to improve his three-point shooting, a case could even be made that he should be the Lakers' starting center once the playoffs begin. The biggest reason why Anthony Davis is often forced to play the 5 is because the roster never had any other big capable of spacing the floor, protecting the rim, and wouldn't compromise on the defensive versatility at the same time. So let me know down in the comment section below, after hearing the case for Marquese Chriss to be considered as a possible replacement for starting center Marc Gasol, who would you want the Los Angeles Lakers to sign between DeMarcus Cousins and Marquese Chriss to be the Lakers' possible starting center heading to the upcoming season? But that's it for the video. Take it easy, guys.
What do you think of the trade? Will this help the Lakers win a championship next season? Let us know in the comment section below, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. Thanks for watching.